You wake up, your phone is dead, your car won't start, your taps are dry. Not because of war, not because of a terrorist attack, because the sun sneezed. In 1859, an astronomer named Richard Carrington watched the sun do exactly this. Telegraph offices caught fire. Operators were electrocuted even when their batteries were disconnected. Back then, it cost them nothing. In the modern world, that same event costs us $2 trillion in the first year alone. We wouldn't recover for a decade. This is the Carrington Event, and physics says it's going to happen again. The question is, when? To understand the apocalypse, let's go back 167 years. September 1st, 1859. Richard Carrington witnessed the most powerful solar event in recorded history. 18 hours later, the sky lit up with auroras as far south as the Caribbean, Mexico, and Hawaii. In Cayman Islands, the auroras were so bright people could read newspapers at midnight. But the real story was the infrastructure. Telegraph wires started sparking. Massive electrical surges set pylons on fire. The electricity wasn't coming from batteries, it was being induced directly from the Earth's atmosphere. It didn't collapse the world then because telegraphs were the only things using electricity. Today, everything, from buying bread to pumping water, hangs on a copper wire. If 1859 happens tomorrow, the machine of civilization doesn't just stop, it melts. Why are we so vulnerable? The Faraday law. The sun operates on an 11-year magnetic cycle. During a Carrington-level event, 1 billion tons of magnetized plasma, a coronal mass ejection, hits Earth's magnetosphere. When that magnetic field buckles, it triggers Faraday's law. A changing magnetic field through a conductor creates an electric current. Your 100-mile power transmission lines, they just became giant antennas. This creates a geomagnetically induced current, or GIC. It's a massive surge of direct current, but our grid is built for alternating current. They are not compatible. When you pump DC through a transformer designed for AC, you get half-cycle saturation. It's like trying to fill a water balloon with a fire hose. The internal temperature spikes to 200 degrees Celsius in seconds. The oil boils, the insulation melts, the transformer dies. Here is the brutal math. A high-voltage transformer weighs 400 tons. It's custom-built overseas. The lead time for a replacement is currently 2 to 4 years. We have almost no spares. During a Carrington event, estimates suggest 50% of the grid fails simultaneously. It doesn't go out, it disintegrates. Let's address the myth. Will your phone fry? No. Your smartphone is a Faraday cage. If it's not plugged in, it survives. But here's the catch. It will be a useless brick in 24 hours. Your phone needs a network. Cell towers depend on the grid. Most towers have 24 hours of backup power. After that, dark. Cars, same story, different ending. Direct electromagnetic damage to a car is low. A Carrington event won't fry your ECU unless GIC-induced surges happen to reach your vehicle through ground connections. Possible, but not guaranteed. But here's what will stop your car. Your fuel pump is electric. No electricity means no fuel flow, even with a full tank. You are stranded. And when you try to refuel, the fuel pumps at every gas station in your region are also offline. The supply chain is broken. Modern cars from the 1980s onward, same problem. Pre-1980s cars with mechanical ignition, those can still run if you can get fuel. But the fuel supply chain is dead. Your car, new or old, dead. The internet? Undersea fiber optic cables are glass, they're immune, but the landing stations and data centers are electronic. When the grid fails, Google and Amazon have 72 hours of generator fuel. After that, every email, bank account, and cloud service goes black. Your devices are fine. It's the world they live in that's dead. Quick pause. We're working hard to hit our first major milestone of 10,000 subscribers. If you're enjoying this deep dive, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow. All right, back to the video. Here is the realistic timeline of a Carrington-level event. Hour 1 through 6. Regional blackouts cascade across state lines. The Eastern Interconnect fails. 100 million people are in the dark. Hour 24, ATMs are dead. Digital banking is offline. Cash is the only currency, and no one has enough of it. Refrigerated food begins to spoil. Day 3, supermarket shelves are stripped. Trucking logistics halt because drivers can't get fuel. Week 1, this is where it gets ugly. Most municipal water systems rely on electric pumps. In most cities, the taps stop flowing. People start drinking from rivers and lakes. Mortality from treatable conditions begins climbing. A diabetic without refrigeration for insulin, a transplant patient whose medication runs out, an elderly person without heat in winter. Months 2 to 12, the grid remains offline. Transformers are being manufactured and replaced, but at a rate of maybe 10 to 20 per month across the entire affected continent. When you need 1,000 to restore regional grids, at 20 per month, that's 50 months, 4 years. After 12 months, power begins returning to some regions, but only where transformers have been successfully replaced. High-latitude regions hit hardest. Northern US, Northern Europe, Russia are last to recover. The 2008 National Academy of Sciences report estimated recovery would take 4 to 10 years. That's not hours or days, that's years. Can we prevent this? Not really. There are efforts to monitor the sun, sure. NOAA tracks solar flares 24/7. If a massive storm launches at Earth, we get about 30 minutes of warning. 30 minutes. That's enough time to maybe disconnect a few systems. It is not enough time to save the grid. We have the technology, capacitor banks that block DC currents. Quebec installed them after their grid collapsed in 1989, but in the rest of North America, it's rare. Why? Money. Utilities look at the cost and say, it hasn't happened in 165 years, we'll take the risk. The 2008 National Academy of Sciences report warned Congress explicitly. It was ignored. Let's be clear about the stakes. In 1859, the sun hit us with a massive storm. It cost a few $1,000s in damage. In 2026, that same storm costs $2 trillion in the first year alone. It wipes out 15% of GDP instantly. Research suggests there's a 10 to 20% chance of a Carrington-level event in any given decade. In May 2024, we had a near miss, a G5 storm that knocked out satellites and confused GPS. This isn't about fear, it's about recognizing that our timeline, our 24-hour delivery, always-on, instant access world is temporary. It exists only because the sun allows it to. The sun sneezed in 1859. It will sneeze again. The only variable is time. If you liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. If you want to see what happens when the ground beneath you explodes, click here for the full breakdown of the Yellowstone supervolcano eruption. Tactical Bear out.